Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 6 of What If Naruto Was Abandoned and Awaken at Kekkei Genkai. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this all with your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto had the ultimate nature bloodline over Anime King 3 and enjoy that guys. And I also post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Failed is Genin Tesson was given intense training over on Anime King, so go ahead and enjoy that guys. And remember if you're new to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family, and thank you for all for your help and support. And yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode start? The intro. So, the last time that we left off, Reiga and Naruto was clashing. The both of them clash was intense as Reiga never expected this jump in Naruto power. At first, he thought that Naruto wasn't worthy to handle his blade, but now Naruto was handling him, as the both of them was battling all around. In the end, Naruto did a risky move. The Kyuubi told him that there was several other moves that he could use to end this match, but instead he went with that one, as Reiga didn't stand a chance, as he was knocked down and defeated. As this was the first time that Naruto had to kill someone, he was told by the Kyuubi that he would have to kill people in the future. That's a part of being a shinobi, but still, he never had to do it before. And not to mention, despite Reiga being crazy and senile, the man did train him. So Naruto felt a bit bad that in the end he could not change Reiga's mind for them to have their battle, but at least the man died in doing what he enjoyed. So with that, some more time passed. They went towards the land of snow so they could learn Haiton for Naruto. Making his way there, as Naruto met a kindly old woman that offered them a place to stay as long as they could do a couple of chores around the house, which she greatly appreciated. As they made their way towards a palace, which she told them where Doton was. Arriving there, as Naruto was able to sneak in and defeat all of the man's guard. But what the man asked for in the end of training him was something that Naruto wouldn't accept. He wanted to go on a date with the Kyuubi. After all, in her form she looked quite elegant, as her beauty was not rivaled by anyone else. And Naruto was about to refuse that, but she said yes. In her mind, she was just doing it to help Naruto with his training, but he didn't like it one bit. And he also doubted himself that something between them would ever work. After all, he was her jailer after all, and he didn't like that one bit. As the time went on, the old woman, Konami, noticed that something was going on between them, as she noticed that Naruto was pulling away slowly. So she spoke to him, but Naruto told her that things between them could never work. As the Kyuubi was there, she listened to everything that he said. Konami had an illness though, as she was dying. She then told him that she used to work for Orochimaru, as the Kyuubi was shocked to hear that, and she was angry. But she told them Orochimaru was slaughtering the rest of the scientists after they failed, to give him something that could make him last forever. But she had a way so that the Kyuubi could have her body and use her. Yes, if she could have a dying wish, she wanted them to use a jutsu that she created. It will involve using a corpse, and she would gladly be the one to use. She knew that these two loved each other, but yet neither of them knew that each other loved each other. But Konami spoke to the Kyuubi before she started the jutsu, and she told her that she knew that she was there at the door listening. Naruto was, well, he was a kind, gentle soul, and he would never push anything on anyone. She just had to give him time. So yeah guys, that's basically what I thought. You guys can switch out across the please check out for yourself. So let's begin this new episode. Konami was explaining to them the jutsu and what is going to happen because of the seal that was placed on Naruto. Even with Natsumai-chan having her own body and soul completely out of the seal still being active will link you two together, meaning her chakra will continue The fuse with yours, Naruto-kun. It also means if the technique is activated and anyone of you die, the other would die as well. The last thing, when that's my chance, is to use my body. You should keep me in a storage scroll. My body won't decompose while sealed. She coughed in her hand. Well, I guess about that time. Be strong, the both of you, she said. She coughed once again. This time was black blood. She only had seconds left. Be safe, the both of you, as I said. And keep strong. I'll be watching you, she said. And she died, with a happy smile on her face. The both of them grieved for their friend, who had done more than anyone else for them, outside of Konoha. They were truly grateful to have known her. As, after a few minutes, as Naruto fulfilled her final wish, as he placed her inside the seal, he then turned towards Natsume. You ready? He asked. As Natsume nodded, as she dispelled herself back in the seal. As Naruto went through a long series of hand signs, before he slammed his hand down, as the seal spread wide, and it started to glow a light blue, as the blue light consumed the old man's body, as Naruto had to turn his eyes away, before the light died down, as Naruto rubbed his eyes, as he turned back to where the body was supposed to be, but it was no longer there. Instead, Natsume was standing there, her pointy ears and 6 tails behind her. Did it work? Said Naruto, as he watched her test out her body as she moved her legs. She moved her arms, only one way to find out, as her tails and ears vanished as she hid them with her technique. As the pair walked away farther into the forest, since they didn't want any unwelcome eyes, a simple jutsu should be enough tests. As she flashed through a set of hand signs quickly, fire style. Great fireball technique, she said. Naruto was shocked as she spewed white flames into the sky. As it rose above the trees, all the snow around them instantly evaporated into mist. As Naruto was shocked, as even he started to sweat, as she then cancelled her technique. Not bad. But I remember I could make them bigger in the past. Well, I'm only working with 6 days worth of power, so I'm guessing that's the reason. But still, it worked. I have my real body back. As she had a big smile on her face as she jumped around happily. You did that, and you were expecting to do better, said Naruto. Well, it's no wonder why you're the queen of demons. Damn, he said. I know, she said. I'm pretty badass, as she smirked. Yes, you are, said Naruto. But what do you mean only 6 tails worth? Well, remember I told you that you need more power and chakra to summon me, seeing that I'm the boss of the Fox Summons. As Naruto nodded, well, it's the same concept here. The more control you have over my chakra, the more you get, and the more I lose. Right now you only can control 3 tails worth of my power, and I still remain in control of the last 6. Well, that makes sense. But what happens when I gain control of all 9? Will you have no chakra left to control on your own? Well, think of our link as a chakra road. There's a depth, and there's a flow. For example, if you have all 9 tails worth of power, and I come outside like this, I wouldn't be much of a threat. But at any time, you can transfer chakra to me, which would cause you to lose that worth of tail of power, and me to gain depth. Another example, if you transfer the 3 tails of power you have to me, I'll gain back all 9, but you will still have your normal chakra. Get it? She asked. A bit confusing, but yeah, said Naruto. But even if I held none of your chakra, I would still have my natural chakra reserves from my Genkai. As she nodded at that. As she looked towards him, now she knew that he had feelings for her. But he had to tell her himself. Because if he did not do that, he would never completely trust her to be vulnerable around her. Only then will I tell you that I feel the same way. Only then, she thought to herself. Let's go to bed, she said. It's been a rather trying day. As Naruto nodded, timeskip, the day of the festival. It was the day of the annual snow festival, and the place was buzzing with activity. The streets were filled from head to toe. As for the demon pair, after Awaken, Naruto began his morning ritual, his training. Natsume simply watched him, as she enjoyed her new freedom, which was completely amazing once again. I still can't believe I had my real body back, she thought, as she was watching Naruto train, as she felt her body kind of heat up. Damn it, I forgot how these feelings feel with my real body outside here. Bastard, not telling me how you feel for me, she thought to herself, as Naruto just finished his last set of push-ups as he walked back to the house. Hey Natsume-chan, shouldn't you be getting ready, he said. Ready for what, she asked. Well, Konami told me that you have been looking forward towards the festival for a few months now, said Naruto. So I just figured I'll go along to keep you company, he said. As she frowned slightly, yes, I wanted to go, but with Konami's death, I think it would be rather rude to just go out and have fun so soon. I can see your point, but she was the one who told me about you in the festival, so I'm sure that she would have still wanted to go and enjoy herself. Remember her final wishes. She wanted us to be happy. Standing around and grieving and being all sad. I'm afraid she wouldn't like that at all, said Naruto. As Natsume thought over Naruto's words. Yes, Konami would say something exactly like that, and she knew it. As Naruto was right. Time skip. Naruto was waiting patiently for Natsume to get ready for the past 2 hours. Lucky enough, Naruto had good patience and he could wait. As Naruto was wearing a blue kimono, he then heard the footsteps on the stairs coming down. As he got up and decided to meet her on the way. As Naruto turned the corner and he froze. As his eyes widened. She was so breathtaking. She was wearing a kimono that she found in Konami's closet. It had golden markings running across it. Golden markings that were finished at the end, with a dragon head curling around her stomach, moving upwards on the back of the kimono. She had a light shade of red lipstick on and a lavender eyeliner that only seemed to more show off her beauty and how exotic she was. So, how do I look, Naruto-kun, as she twirled in a circle for him? As Naruto could not speak. Naruto-kun? He was snapped from his thoughts. Sorry, what was that he said? I asked you how did I look? Amazing, said Naruto, as his eyes were on her. As her sight was just amazing. You're not too bad, she said. She walked past him as she placed her pointer finger under his chin and ran it up towards the end with a smile. Before she walked forward in front of him. You come in, Naruto-kun, she asked, in a rather suggestive voice. As Naruto was snapped from his gaze, his mind still at ease as he followed her. Time skip. That evening, Daimyo's castle. The festival went off without a hitch as they enjoyed everything. They went throughout the town, enjoying everything that was happening, as the place was just booming with activities, games, jewelries, exotic stalls, everything was around. Everything that you could think of was here. After it came to an end, everyone made their way towards Doton Castle, where the ball was keeping. The end of the year ball that he kept right after the festival. As Naruto could not recognize the castle anymore, with the decoration up, it looked like a completely different place. For this singular day, status meant nothing, as everyone was the same because everyone could attend this ball. Doesn't matter your wealth or anything, you could attend the ball. And everyone was there, having a wonderful time, as Doton really knew how to throw a party. This was a real celebration of the Snow Festival, the gatherness, everyone together. And no wealth, no people pushing over each other, because everyone was equal right here and now. As you had the food over to the wall, and the giant dance floor in the center. As people mingle, people talk, they drank, they laughed. As both Naruto and Natsume mingled with the people that they had come acquainted with in the town, as they made their way through. A few hours passed and people were either sitting down, or some of them were dancing with their partners. Currently, the demon pair had just finished their dinners, as they were talking to an elderly lord from Wind Country. That was when 3 guys walked over, interrupting the conversation. Excuse me, the one in the middle, a blonde said. Sorry for the interruption, but I would like to ask this beautiful young lady for a dance, if she would allow me. As he bowed his head and placed his hand out towards Natsume in a polite gesture. Natsume never expected this. She had stayed with Naruto the entire night, thinking that it would make people do the exact opposite of this, seeing her with Naruto. And besides, she enjoys spending her time with Naruto. So, either she say no and give a reason a lie, while she would not. But the man acts with nothing but polite manners. But if she accepts, she would just be taking another step away from Naruto, admitting his feelings. Why couldn't it be an ugly pervert to walk by and ask me for dance, in a rather rude way? Why did it have to be someone so handsome and polite, she thought, as she turned her head towards Naruto, hoping that he would say something that stopped this. But he gave her a smile, as you could see the sadness behind his eyes though. Why not, Natsume-chan? Go and have fun, he said, as that sparkle in her eyes vanished. As she gave him a nod, as she placed on a fake smile, she turned towards the man and took his hand. As Naruto's smile dropped immediately. as he took a sip of his wine. As the lord that he was talking to spoke, "I cannot understand you. I must say, that action that you just take was rather foolish," the lord said. "You would allow other men to get towards Natsumai-san so close, when she clearly wanted to stay by your side." "It can't be helped, Akira-san," said Naruto. "There's a long and difficult history between us. And besides, I am not the one that can make her happy. The happiness that she deserves. I would only get in the way of her happiness if I ever told her what I really thought," he said, as he took a gulp of his wine. "This life that we live is rather short, Arashi-san, and you should never let fear hold you back no matter what it is. Always dive in head first if it's something that you believe strongly with your heart, something that you must do. Take the chances, take the risks, because in the end, most of the time, they pay off. In your case, how exactly do you know that you're not good enough for Natsumai-san over there? Unless you take that big leap and tell her. I mean, if you don't tell her, you've already failed before you began. Are you that much of a coward?" the man said. As the words struck Naruto deeply, as he went silent for long minutes. He didn't say a single word, as Akira just looked at him. As the man got up and placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder, "Think about it," he said, as he left Naruto alone to think about his thoughts. As Naruto got up, as he made his way towards the balcony, 10 minutes passed as Naruto was standing at the edge of the balcony. He was silent. He didn't say a word, he just stand there. His mind was racing with a lot of thoughts. He didn't know what to do. What if he truly confessed? What if she accepts him? Or what if she told him no? But what? Akira said to him in there, and Konami said to him as well. They were right. He should take his chance. He should take his chance. You would never know until you ask. Isn't that right, he thought to himself, as he had a cup of sake in his hand that he had brought with him. As he sighed, "I know that look very well," a voice said behind him, as he did not turn back. "What are you doing all the way up here, Natsumai-chan?" he said. "I could say the same for you. Akira-san, tell me that you went up here to get some air. But can you tell me why you're up here?" she said. As she looked down, they were standing at a tall mountain peak. If one was to fall off this, without any special abilities, it would be a rather risky way to survive. "As I said," she said, "I know that look on your face. Have you finally grown up, and you're having feelings for a woman? Well, Fubuki is the only woman that you spend time with here. Other than me, of course. So I'm guessing it's about her." If it was only that simple, Naruto thought. Start to burst her bubble, but it's not about Fubuki. So she asked, "Who is it about then?" she said, as she felt her heart beating faster than usual. As you want to tell her it's about you. It's always been about you, what his mind refused to say it. His mind told him to say something else. "It's nothing important," he said. "Let's go back and enjoy the ball." She grabbed his hand. As Naruto paused, he turned as he saw her crying. She thought that right there, right then, he was about to tell her. She understood why he was afraid, and why it was not easy to say something like this, given their special circumstances, but still. She was tired of this. If he was gonna admit it, he needed to admit it now. "Are you really so afraid of my reaction that you will never admit that you have feelings for me?" she asked, a bit angry. As she released his hand, as Naruto turned towards her. You knew all along," he said. How long have you known? And why is my confessing so really important?" he asked, as he still didn't believe that she would say yes to him. "Yes, I knew. From the moment that you were talking to Konami. And I didn't want to hear from someone else that you had feelings for me. I want to hear from you what you really think, what is coming from your heart, and I want to hear those words from your lips," she said. As Naruto was taken aback from her confession, he didn't understand why telling her in his own words meant so much if she would just turn it down in the end. But he felt ashamed that he wasn't the one to tell her. As he took a breath and released, "Sorry, Natsumai-chan," he said. "I never meant to hurt you like I did," he said. "The reason I never tell you was for a couple of reasons actually. But please believe me, none of them were to ever cause you any pain or hurt you in any way. Honestly, it was to do the opposite. You're my best friend. And because of that, and now that you have your real body back, I want you to live as happily as you can. I realize that you're the most powerful bijuu, and with that title comes certain expectations for you. The main thing being that when you're with someone, they have to be worthy of you, your power, your strength, just everything about you, he said. But me, I'm the son of the man that sealed you away from the world, and I'm your jailer, confining you. But more so than that, I'm not a full-blooded demon. Hell, I'm not even full human anymore. I'm half and half. And that is why I never told you how I felt. I mean, how could something like me be worthy for you? In my eyes, you're a goddess, he said. You're funny. You're smart. You're drop-dead gorgeous. All around an amazing person. There's no one in this entire world that is like you. Because you're more than special. You're just amazing. If I had another word, something to describe you, elegance, something else. You're just beyond everything I ever expected. But for being your jailer to keep you away, you should hate me. And you have every right to. But I can't measure up to a certain person. I'm not a wealthy lord. I'm not a powerful demon. I just can't be the one to ever fulfill that rule. You're far out of my league, he said, as he did not look back. Naruto, she said, as he slowly turned, BAM! And her fist connected right into his face, as Naruto slammed into the wall, making a crater, as Naruto dropped towards the ground, right on his butt. As he looked up as she marched towards him with anger, Naruto, Uzumaki Namikaze, just who the hell do you think you are, she asked. Naruto was confused. As she growled at him, I said, who the hell do you think you are? To tell me who or what I cannot have feelings for. Last time I checked, I was still the most strongest bijuu, the queen of all demons. So who do you think you are telling me I can't have feelings for you when I goddamn already love you, she said. Wait, what? Said Naruto, completely shocked. Did you just say you love me? He said. As she dropped down to where he was, scooted closer to him and kissed him. The most passionate kiss ever. As Naruto was shocked to his very core, but his mind focused on the kiss. And he started to kiss back because the feeling of utter bliss and just beyond wonderful as they kiss each other in a passionate moment. But they had to break apart to get here. As Naruto was still dazed and shocked. I did, she said. I did say that because I do love you, she said. As Naruto raised his hand and slapped himself across the face. She blinked in confusion. What are you doing? I have to see if this is some sort of dream, he said. I've had it before. As that made her laugh. As a smile came towards her face as she grabbed his hands. No, it's not a dream. I do love you, she said. As for the how, I don't need a reason to love someone. But if you want to know the why, it's because it's you. That's the best way I can describe it. It's because it's you. You have all these negative compositions about yourself. That is not true. You are strong. You're intelligent, compassionate man. And the most important thing for me is love. When it comes towards a mate, not their status or power. Love. I love you for who you are. You're also my best friend too, Naruto-kun. And I honestly don't know what I would do if I ever lost you as my friend. And it's my choice to pick anyone that is worthy of my affection. And you are more than worthy, she said. As Naruto was shocked to his core. As it wasn't a dream, and here she was in his arms, telling him that she loved him. As his mind couldn't fathom how happy he was. Can I kiss you again? He asked, as she giggled, before she wrapped her arms around him, and they share a tender kiss. Time skip the next morning, as Naruto woke up, as the sunlight peered through the window and woke him up. As he groaned, but then he felt something heavy on him. A leg was wrapped around his own legs, as a head was on his chest, and not to mention her fully exposed naked body right on him. His face instantly turned red. I must be dreaming, he said, but the memories of last night run through his mind, as when he realized that it wasn't a dream, he wanted to jump and shout to the heavens that she actually liked him back. But he watched as she slept peacefully as he did not move. But what if it is a dream, he thought to himself, with a smirk. Well then, he should check if it's one, right? As he slowly turned her over before flipping, right on top of her, his hands pressed down inside the bed, as she was still asleep. Wakey wakey, he said, as she wouldn't wake up, as he started to kiss her on her neck, going straight up. What is that, Natsuma thought? As she started to wake up, she slowly opened her eyes, as she saw the two arms on the bed beside her, and the sensation of someone kissing her neck going down. As the previous night, memories flashed through her mind. It brought a smile to her face, as his fang jetted out as he beat her, a small, love bite. Well, don't stop on my account, she said, as Naruto looked up towards her with a smile. I just had to make sure that last night wasn't a dream, he said, although I made sure twice already. But consider this your punishment for always teasing me. Well, I guess I deserve that, as he came up and planted a kiss on her lips, which she quickly shared with him, as she wrapped herself up in his arms, as he held on to her, as Naruto just felt amazing. There's something you should know, she said. Huh? What is it, he asked. Well, since we're mates, you should know. As she looked away, as Naruto covered her face. You can tell me, what's wrong, he said, as all of her worries melted away, as she saw those compassionate eyes looking at her. I am unable to conceive in my non-demon form, Naruto-kun. I was born a demon, and I can only birth kids as one. Therefore, I would unable to bear your in child, she said. I'm so sorry, I know that you want a family in the future, and yet your mate can't even give you one, as she looked down disappointedly. Truth be told, she was right on the money. He always thought about the future, and thought about having a family on his own. His hope were raised, with her becoming his mate. But from what she said, he realized that they could never have kids. But seeing her in this sad state, and the moment he saw a single tear leave her eye, as Naruto kissed her right on the forehead. Please don't cry, he said. You're way too beautiful to be so sad. Although I do admit I want to have a family. But as long as I have you, I could never complain about wanting more. You're all I truly need, he said. A family with you would have just been a bonus, he said, as he caressed her cheek. She was shaken by his words. She never expected him to say such a thing, even if he did love her. There were times in his past when she heard his thoughts, as she saw him watching the kids with their family, and he always wanted something like that. But despite that, he still loved her. Thank you, Naruto-kun, she said, as the both of them share a kiss. As Naruto chuckled a bit after they were finished. What's so funny? Well, I was wondering, maybe I could, in my demon form, transform into a fox. And as he laughed again, I could summon you and I could take you fox's style, he said. And as he laughed once again, his face completely red. Although I do love your imagination, Naruto-kun, I'm afraid the Henus don't have any transformation abilities. Only full-blooded demons do. But that doesn't mean we have to scrap that foxy idea of yours. It sounds rather kinky, she said. Really? Said Naruto, as she leaned up and trailed her tongue across his cheek. Sure, she said, as Naruto felt a shiver went down his spine. You really have no idea what you do to me sometimes, he said. I aim to please my Naruto-kun, she said. But there's something that we can do about it, she said. What's that? I know how much you want a family, and I want to make you happy, she said. So, I am willing to share you with another female. As Naruto was shocked by her answer, but he knew that she would do anything to make him happy, but he wouldn't want to put her out like that. Although I'm happy that you would do this for me, I wouldn't want to do that to you. As I said, as long as I have you, I'll be okay, he said. She shook her head. Listen, Naruto-kun, I had a family once, and I can honestly tell you it was the happiest years of my life when I was with them. The same blissful feeling I had then, it's returning in full force right now while I'm with you. So, to have a family with you despite doing it in other means would be just beyond wonderful. As of right now, my happiness have skyrocketed through the roof, she said. And I want you to feel that happiness as well. Given the fact of what happened in the past, I want you to have kids. Children to call you father, to make you happy as well. And I want it for you. I'm not saying just to go and find someone to have kids with, like that. I want you to find someone that you can agree with, and raise a family with you. Although it was shocking to hear that from someone he loved, a part of his mind, a little voice, agreed with her. He did want a family. You know, you're really unbelievable, said Naruto, as the both of them shared another loving kiss. I will not take it lightly. As anyone, as you said Naruto. I will find someone that I will care about, and I will be able to choose my side, my demon or human side. Although, they won't be your kids. It will be wonderful to hear them call you mom as well. As long as we discuss it with the other person in relationship, he said. That's fine, she said. The thought of having a family back with him sounds like utter bliss. But they still had a job to do, the reason why they were out here. Now, I believe that you have some training to do, she said. Although I don't want to leave your arms. We are not finished yet. We're far from done with our training. We can have all the romantic time that we want. But it's time that you begin your training. No slacking off, she said. As Naruto nodded, she was right. As Naruto got to his training afterwards, after breakfast and a shower, as Naruto was able to perform the Higher but he wanted to use it in rows. At the moment he could only perform it once to go somewhere. But he could not flash there and flash there all over the place. So he created 100 clones to work on that. While he worked in his fighting style. As he started work on the Rasengan, hundreds of his clones, while he worked on his physical and advanced chakra control exercises. Time skip, 5 months later. In 5 months, Naruto was able to completely master the Rasengan. He was able to harness the Higher 10 times in a row by now, before he lost the pull and needed some rest. The Higher wasn't based on chakra, but more chakra the better. But it was their concentration in their mind had to be intensely focused. His father must have spent a long time working on this. When his father's scroll said let yourself go when you feel a pull, he was not exaggerating. The longer you could concentrate on a pull, the seals were, the longer the jutsu would last. As long as his concentration held firm, Naruto could use the Higher for an entire day. He had vast amount of chakra that was triple over the past couple of years, and not to mention Natsumai, large quantities of chakra as well. So he could fight with the Higher for an entire day. But he still need to learn how to clear his mind and focus on the pull. As for Demon and Pierre, things were getting a bit heated between them. Now that they finally confessed to each other, they could tease each other more in more intimate ways. Most time, his training was put on hold, so they could get rid of some tension between them. While the relationship was going well, the relationship in Snow Country couldn't be any different. While they mostly stayed at the house, just going to town to get some supplies, they noticed something was going on with the villagers. As the Shinobi's military forces in Snow Country, something was going on. The villagers were whispering about it. Rumors started to spread that a long-lost daughter of Doton's brother has finally been found. And that was the reason why Doton was mobilizing his forces. After all, a king never wanted to be dethroned. As Naruto and Natsumai decided to stay out of it. After all, it wasn't really their business. Well, unless they started to endanger the life of their friends in the village. And everything was going fine until the end of the year, December, where old man arrived towards their house, begging them to fight in the civil war that would end up rip Snow Country apart. The demon Pierre was reluctant to listen to the old man, but then he told them a rather interesting tale, and they were gonna help him after hearing what he had to say. As Naruto still remember what happened, flashback. That was a rather amazing dinner, he said, as he pat himself on his stomach. I'm glad you like it, Naruto-kun, she said, as she sat down in his lap. Now, who's ready for some dessert, she asked. Well, you know I'm always ready for some dessert, he said, as his hands massaged her thighs. As the two was enjoying themselves until a low knock at the door was heard. Who could it be at this hour? As the two untangled from each other, as Naruto went to answer the door, a rather ragged looking man was standing there, looking quite suspicious in Naruto's opinion. Sorry for the intrusion, but you happen to be one of the wandering shinobi that came here a few months ago. As Naruto raised an eyebrow, who exactly is asking, he said. As Naruto wasn't that easy to trust outside people. Some people were just not good, and he knew that. And this raggedy old man just popping up here at this hour, well, that wasn't exactly a good sign. Sorry, where are my manners? My name is Asama Sandayu, he said. And if you are who I'm looking for, I would very much like to speak to you and your sensei if I may, please. Well, I'll hear what you have to say, said Naruto. Come in, he said. As he let the man in, the man removed his snow coat. As Naruto eyed the man suspiciously. Who is this? And what does he want, Naruto-kun? Natsumai asked, mentally. His name is Asama Sandayu, said Naruto, and he was actually looking for us. Although he didn't seem to know anything about us. He asked if I was one of the wandering shinobi that came to Snow last year. Apparently, he wished to speak to us, so I let him in to see what he has to say. Don't worry, I already checked outside. Nothing is going on, said Naruto. As a clone was outside, scanning the perimeter, and there was nothing outside. Please sit, said Natsumai, as she pointed towards a chair, as the old man nodded as he sat down. Thank you. Although I don't wish to waste your time, I'll just get straight to it. Are you both the wandering students and saints that came here a year ago? Personally taught by one of Dodo's personal guard. Yes, Naruto said, as he sat on the couch next to Natsumai. Sandayu smiled happily at this. Good. I was so glad I was able to find you, he said, enjoy. Know that you found us. What exactly do you want, said Naruto, and I assume that it's important to visit us at this rather late hour. Yes, and sorry for the intrusion once again. What I have to say is quite important. Being in Snow Country for the last few months, I'm sure that you noticed the militarization of Doton forces, right? As Naruto nodded. Have you also heard about the rumor of people finding the long lost Haim, the daughter of the ruler of this land, the rightful heir to the daimyo of the Snow Country? As a peer nodded once again. Good, then that's less explained on my part. I am the captain of the 3rd Legion of the True Daimyo, Susetsu Katahana Army, and I'm the one that find our last Haim-sama, the right heir to the throne. So the rumor is correct. The both of them just looked at the man. And why exactly are you telling us this? Clearly, there's something you want, said Natsumai. Well, truth be told, I'm also the leader of the last resistant group, with the last loyal few men of the True Daimyo. And the reason I'm telling you this is because we desperately need your help. I have heard from some of the spies that we have in the military and the villagers how strong you two are. I am asking, no begging, that you help us, said the man as he lowered his head. What do you think, Naruto-kun? Natsumai thought to him. If nothing else, this is making for an interesting story, Naruto said. Let's just see what you want from us. As Naruto spoke out for real. So what exactly do you want? What do you mean by needing our help? Sandayu thanked, coming relief that he wasn't outright rejected, as he sat back in a chair. I'll just tell you the whole plan then. It will be better than telling specific parts. Well, Princess Koyoki is using a fake name so that she wouldn't be hunted down and captured by Dodo's people. Across the Elemental Nation, she's actually a famous movie star actor. Yuki in all of the Princess Gale movies. I am acting as her agent and manager, protecting her true identity. She does not know about our connection. We are close to the end of our film, and I told the director it would be a good idea to shoot the rest of the film at Snow Country. It would be a way to let Koike Haim come home. The both of them look confused. Oh sorry, you don't know her past, he said. Well, long story short, Doton was the one who had some rogue military force kill her father so that he could take control of the country. She was helped by some ninjas back then to get out of the village, and she never wanted to return. But right now, the movie had brought her here. I know it was not right to suggest coming to the snow to drag the director and the other crew members into this, but the country desperately needed her to become the daimyo. She is the only one that can claim the throne and bring this country to new heights and not plunder it like Doton. So let me get this straight, said Natsuma. You manipulate a director to come here in his dreams of getting the movie role shot perfectly. I know you wish to manipulate us to get a girl to come back who doesn't even want to be the ruler of his land, to force her to become daimyo. Is that correct? Natsuma asked, as the man bowed his head. Sorry, if I could do what is necessary alone, I wouldn't ask anyone to help. I would put my own life on the line. I don't wish to manipulate anyone, please believe me, but the reality is the resistance is on its last leg, and if we don't get every help that we can get, we will fail. And if the rumors about you two are true, then we need your help. I'm begging you, he said, as he bowed his head once again. It's not good to manipulate people, said Naruto, but this country and its people has been nice to us for the past couple of years, and we don't want anyone to get hurt if a civil war actually breaks out. So, as the man's face lit up, does that mean? As Naruto gave him a slight nod. Thank you so much, he said. You don't know how much it's mean to me. No, how much it's mean to all of Snow Country. Don't celebrate yet. This country has been kind to us, and we will help, but in certain circumstances. So what exactly do you want us to do? The main job that we need is for you to help protect Koyuki while she's currently in Snow Country until she claims her rightful seat as daimyo. However, I'm glad to inform you won't be alone in Gardener. We use the last money that we have to buy a guard in the Hidden Leaf. So, you'll have 4 more to help you protect. The man stopped as he noticed a look in Naruto's eyes. As Natsume looked towards her, Naruto was not angry at him but something else. Is everything alright? You see, Sandy, we originally hail from Fire Country, and I'm afraid we're not on good terms with the Hidden Leaf Ninjas. Members of our past have left us rather jaded to say at least, said Natsume. Sorry, I never meant to bring out those memories, he said. It's a good thing you brought up the leaf now, then later, said Naruto. If I had learned about it later, and you brought me into this store telling me, it would have been a different story, Naruto said, as his tone was icy, as the man took a deep breath. But now that you know, are you still willing to help? As Naruto said nothing, Naruto-kun, Natsume mentally called him. As Naruto lifted up his head, we will still help, but we will not directly guard Koyuki as you first said. Knowing of Konoha involvement, we will guard from the shadows, leaving the open protection to the Konoha shinobis, and neither of us wish to be known to Konoha that we're here. So you will keep this meeting to yourself, said Naruto. Tell Koyuki if necessary, but no one else. If you do not agree to this, we won't help. The man quickly nodded. I swear you will be shadows to myself and Koyuki-ham if need be. I promise, he said. Very well. We will watch from the shadows and take out the nuisances that might try to come after you. When? Will this happen, Naruto asked. I understand, don't worry. It's not right now. In 6 to 8 months. Understood. If worst comes to worst, should we eliminate Doton, Natsume asked. After Koyuki-ham is in power, I'm sure the authorities would like to have him alive for an official trial for what he did in the past. However, depending on the situation, I will leave the job to you too. As the man bowed his head respectfully. In the flashback, it has been 8.5 months since then. As Naruto pondered over everything, if he was still in Konoha right now, he would have probably been a ninja already. Meanwhile, at the shoreline, wow, this place is surely something else, a pink-haired girl said, as she was shocked by the environment. Maybe so, but stay on your guard, Sakura. We aren't here for a vacation. A boy with black hair and black eyes said as he walked up to her. His face was rather cold, despite the peaceful place. It's okay, Sasuke-san. You don't need to be so stiff while on a mission. A third teen spoke up. He looked the strangest out of the 3. That is enough, Sakura sighed. Sasuke is right. We are here as escorts, not tourists. A final shinobi appeared from the deck of the boat, as he was leader of the group. Kakashi-sensei. Alright, I want you to help. Sai, help the shinobis get some of the equipment off the boat. Sakura, see if Yuki-san need any help with your things. Sasuke, you go find Sandeyo. Remember, keep on your guard. I'll be right here, he said. The third man nodded as he walked off, as Kakashi was watching the environment. He had been here before. After all, it was his job to get her out of here safe, and now he was back here. Is everything alright, Kakashi-san? The voice of Sandeyo said. Sasuke walking behind him. He waved the man off, just keeping a lookout, he said, as he had a rather lazy back attitude. Good. Well, the crew is almost ready. About 15 minutes or so. As Kakashi nodded, as Kakashi then saw something. A red fox walking towards them. What the hell? A fox sight that shouldn't be in this region. As the man reached for a kunai, as Sandeyo and Sasuke were confused by his actions, until they saw the fox. But the fox simply ignored them and went towards Sandeyo. As he looked up towards the man, well, what do we have here, said Sandeyo, as he reached down and started to pet the fox. As it jumped on the man's shoulder, as Kakashi narrowed his eyes, the fox may not be dangerous, probably used for summon, but being out like this. As the fox moved close to his ear, it started to speak. Sandeyo-san, I have a message from Arashi-san. Please continue to pet me if you understand. Appearance's sake. As Sandeyo pet the fox. Good. Doton has sent some of his shinobis here, 3 to be exact. One at 10 o'clock in the snowy forest, one at 12 towards the mountainside, and the other one at 2 behind the snow dune further back. Pet me again if you understood. As he pet the fox. Okay, stay close to the princess. Leave the fight in the shinobis that you hire. It doesn't seem like Johnny had noticed yet, but he's not letting his guard down, so that's a good thing. But we don't want you guys to be ambushed, so he will flare his chakra the moment they're coming. But until that happened, pretend like you don't know what's going on. Understood? As the fox received a final pet and hopped off his shoulder and walked, the wake came. Sandio-san, do you know this fox? Asked Kakashi. As he was trying to come with a good lie. But the fox jumped up and bit Kakashi in the arm. Ow, the man says he flashed off a fox that flicked and landed on his feet. As the fox rolled at him before running away, it doesn't seem to like you, said Sasuke with a smirk. Perhaps not, said Kakashi, as he got a piece of bandage to wrap up the wound. It actually bit him a bit hard. Well, I'm going to check on how Yuki is doing, Sandio says he walked away, so Kakashi wouldn't be questioning once again. Sasuke, go with him, said Kakashi, as Sasuke nodded, as he just fell into step with the old man, making his way behind him. Kakashi turned as the fox was gone. Meanwhile, Natsume had to calm Naruto down, as Naruto, Vision, seemed like he was about to bore a hole in Kakashi's head, as she had to calm him down, as she held on to him, as he dispelled the summon, and summoned her in her new form, as she immediately gave him a kiss and calmed him down. Try not to let your emotions get the better of you. I've taught you better than that. Thank you, said Naruto as she managed to calm him down. It's alright, Naruto-kun. We both know what that man did to you when you were younger. So, it's alright to be a bit angry. Truth be told, I wanted to rip off his legs and drag him up here, so you can finish him off yourself. But since we didn't want to be found out, I had to act the part of a fox and only bite him. Don't worry, this will be over soon. I gave Sandio the message, everything will be fine, she said, as she comforted him. As Naruto closed this spell, the shinobis were coming. As he flared his chakra, he wanted to see what exactly the Konoha shinobis can do. Meanwhile, with the group, a few seconds earlier, good job you three, said Kakashi, as he got everything. Now, we're getting ready to... Kakashi paused. Kakashi, said Sasuke, as Sasuke was shocked. Kakashi turned his back towards him. All of you get in the trucks and start moving, he said. Sai, Sakura, Sasuke, protect the caravans until they can get away. They did as they were told as Genins, grabbed their kunais and stood in their defensive mode. Kakashi Hatake. So we meet again. This is a nice surprise, isn't it? Fubuki, misery, as the man snapped his finger. As Sandio saw two more shinobis appear. Midori, Rukyu. I should have known that you would have been the ones that Doton sent here, said Kakashi. Sasuke, Fubuki. Should be enough for you to take on your own, because of your Sharingan ability, speed, and your fire of Hinte. Sakura sighed. Go after Misery. He uses size and strength to fight, so watch out. He is all mine, said Kakashi. We have a whole score to settle. Well then, Kakashi. It's been a long while. Let's see how much has changed. As the group separated. Meanwhile, with Naruto. Bro, said Naruto as he watched a boy named Sai drew on a parchment and he came to life. Well then, Naruto-kun, let's get towards the trucks. As she took his hand, as the both of them flashed away in red flames. As they flashed towards the forest. As they watched the trucks from the shadows, making sure no one else got in their way, waiting for the team to come back. As Sandio sat there, as he hoped everything went fine. As he was rather grateful for the two ninjas. He would of course keep their identity secret. The only person he might tell is Kyuubi, if things went out of hand and they had to save her. But guys, if you end episode right here. If you want to next part, then do like, subscribe, comment down below and turn on the bell notifications to stay posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto had the ultimate nature bloodline over on Anime King 3 and enjoy that guys. And also I post a brand new episode over on Anime King of What If Naruto. Fearless Janine Tesson was given intense training, so go ahead and enjoy that as well guys. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all for helping your support, and yeah, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro.